Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing my brand new Xplus 25 centimeter King Caesar that came with that 74 that I just did a review on. Here it is, you can see in the camera. This I did go with the Rick version, so it does have the light up effect, which I'm going to show you right now. And there you go, the light up eyes. I think that it really brought it was worth the price. I think it was probably just I think it was like an extra $20 for the Rick, and I was like, I'm not passing up on that. The light up eyes is so cool to me, and it reminds me of the scene whenever he's breaking out of the rocks. So I was like, yep, that's a must have. I gotta go with the Rick. So I'm gonna be giving my opinion on the figure and going in depth about what I like about it, what maybe I don't so much like about it, and how well it scales with the 74 Godzilla that came out along with it. If you guys haven't seen yet, there is actually a fake Godzilla that's also coming into this line, a 25 centimeter fake Godzilla, which I'm super excited for, and I did pre-order. So when it comes out, I think it's around July. You guys will definitely be getting a review on that one as well to go with the set. Fingers crossed for a Mechagodzilla to go with it, but I'm not liking my odds here. It still hasn't been released, and now getting a fake Godzilla. So if we're getting a fake Godzilla before the real Mechagodzilla, I'm not so sure that we're gonna get a Mechagodzilla. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we get a Titanosaurus this year. Probably not though. We're not that lucky. But without further ado, let's get into the figure. So 74 King Caesar, I will admit, is not as good as the Godzilla. Going into it, I didn't think that it would be. The 74 Godzilla is just breathtaking. I'll have some comparison uh, videos later on for you all to show off the comparison between the two. But for now, let's just talk about the King Caesar. I do think it's a very good King Caesar figure. Okay, maybe not the best, but it's definitely up there as one of the better King Caesars. There are certain things that I do like, certain things that I really don't like. So first off, I think the back is kind of my least favorite part about the whole thing. I think that this tan hair up top is probably my least favorite part about the entire figure. It kind of loses detail, especially in like the tail. It's almost too bright for King Caesar. Maybe I'm wrong, and I just you know am just you know can't picture it correctly or something. But I'm not the biggest fan of how this tan color came out, and in contrast to the brown, which the brown I think looks really good. Just the two colors together don't contrast right, whereas with the suit from 74 it does. So I don't really know what happened there. Maybe it's just on figures it's harder to do for King Caesar in that specific color. But if you look back to the front here, right here, the it's like a different shade of this light tan brown, almost like this is what it should look like, and then everything else is almost too light. So I don't really know what happened there. That's my biggest complaint, and honestly, my only complaint about this figure is just kind of the paints. Almost got lazy, I feel like. But other than that, it's on the cheaper end for X pluses. I'm not gonna complain. It's I think I got it for like 140 something. So no complaints here. I still think it's a great figure. And I do think the light up effect is phenomenal. And like I said, goes perfectly with what happens in the movie when he breaks out of the rocks. I would love to make some diorama, but I'm not that talented. So if you are, then I would recommend this guy, and you should build a cool diorama of him in the rocks. But me personally, I am not that talented and never will be. So going around with the figure, just kind of there's a little articulation in the arms, not much though. Actually, there's only in the one arm right here a little bit of swivel, but in the feet there's a slight swivel as well as this one as well. Just kind of just angling the feet. You can kind of make them look more neutral, and then I feel like when you angle the foot like that, it looks like he's more ready to fight, which I like. And then, like I said, the arms. This arm is very stiff, not really any movement here. But then this one, like I said, it has that little swivel. And then the legs have a slight swivel as well. So not a whole lot of posability. I mean, you can kind of change it slightly. Not as much as the 74 Godzilla has, but I mean, it's still got a little bit more than some X pluses. Some just have absolutely none, so you know, take what you can get. Unfortunately, there's none in like the head or anything, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's whatever. The head, I do really like. I feel like it has a lot of detail, um, and the crest up top, I think looks really good. I do think that they could have made it pop a little more in that top spot right there, but other than that, you know, once again, the biggest problem with this figure is just kind of the paint. The paint was not exactly what I've been hoping for, especially whenever they nailed it out of the ballpark with the 1974. So, but other than that, it's a great figure, and I really recommend this. If you're looking for a high quality King Caesar figure, then this is definitely one to go for. I know that I think it's the 30 centimeter King Caesar, or maybe it's the old 25 centimeter. I'm not the biggest fan of that one, so I do think this is probably the best on the market right now. But I do think there's still room for improvement. I'm disappointed though that there's no movement in the ears. Come on, it's a King Caesar figure. Like it should have had the straight up ears. I think that is the only thing that would maybe put the old releases above this one. Though not all the older releases had the light up eyes, so it's kind of whichever one you prefer, the light up eyes or the ears straight up. Um, but yeah, I like I said, really like this figure. I recommend it to anybody going to looking into X pluses and are a fan of King Caesar and want a high quality King Caesar. So it goes great with the 74 Godzilla, which I'm going to show you here in a second. And yeah, so let's get into some close-up shots and the comparisons of the two figures. So yeah, that's the close-up of the figures. This is King Caesar, the new X Plus 25 centimeter, and I really like it. Like I said previously multiple times, I really do recommend this figure, and I hope that I could show you some insight into the figure if you haven't seen it yet, or if you only saw the promotional photos. And seeing this guy in person, like in, you know, getting a full camera view of him, hopefully that helps you make a decision on whether you would want to get him in the future or not. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, support. It supports the channel so much, it helps a lot, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.